Okay, guys. We're going to continue. Um, Liliana, can you help us with this slide, please?
Yes, of course. Face validity. Face validity refers to the degree to which a test looks right and appears to measure the knowledge or abilities it claims to measure based on the subjective judgment. Face validity means that the students perceive the test to be valid. Does the test on the face of it appear from the learner's perspective to test what it is designed to test?
Thank you, Liliana. And yes, an examination has to look formal, right? Has to look professional, especially an examination that is going to be intended to to evaluate you, and you're going to use it either to fulfill a job requirement or to study in a university, or I don't know, to some important factors. And also, it has to evaluate what is purpose to evaluate. Thank you, Liliana. Josue, can you help us, please?
Yes, authenticity. The language is as natural as possible. Items are contextualized rather than isolated. Topics are meaningful, relevant, interesting. Thematic organization to items is provided. Tags represent or close to real-world tasks.
Thank you, Josue. So this is very clear, okay? I
Yep.
assume. Anyone has any questions so far?
No.
Okay, we continue. Okay, Miriam, can you help us?
Yes. Washback. Washback is the effect of testing on teaching and learning. It generally refers to the effects that the tests have on the instruction in terms of how students prepare for the test. Students' correct responses strategies for success can be served as learning devices. Comment generously and specifically on students' test performance.
Thank you, Miriam. So I have a question for you. Is feedback the same as watchback?
Watchback.
Now we're talking in a more technical sense. Okay, we're talking in a English language teaching vocabulary. And in this sense, is feedback the same as watchback?
The effect of test teaching and
I don't think so because feedback is what we give to our students, and I consider that washback is how they will take it or the effect it causes on them if they plan to study more for the next test or if they just don't take it into consideration. I don't know if that's
Great, great, great.
Te-
Thank you, Miriam.
Teacher,
Somebody else? Yes.
washback, the difference between feedback and washback, it's, well, I don't know. If probably it's the washback, it's when students can express the feelings they had in when they finish a test, or the comments they can make in teams. I don't know. Maybe the feedback is from the teacher to the students, and washback is
It's in a group.
learning for themselves, and I don't know how to say it. It's between the
Uh, I remember that it says the washback, you do it after the test. You say the answers and they realize what mistake they have
like
in the
an
test.
auto evaluation.
Yes, self-evaluation.
Okay, interesting. Somebody else?
Me. It is different feedback because it's the influence of testing, teaching, and learning.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Marisa. Anyone else?
Washback. Washback is at the end of the course, teacher, like summative feedback. Oh, summative assessment. No?
Well, watch back, you can use it either way. You can use it as formative or as summative, but it's more related with formative.
Formative. Okay. I think that feedback is formative and washback summative. Okay. It's okay.
Teacher,
Yes.
but it is summative since I said that is the influence of testing, teaching, and learning. It is when you realize what are your, if you are going ahead or your setbacks as a teacher and also students.
Okay, interesting. Okay. Um, Imagine that we just we're in a classroom, and I'm providing my students with their grades. For instance, Juanito, 9. Lupita, 8. Salvador, 7.
Josué.
6, and so on and so on. In that way, I'm providing feedback. It's a way of feedback. Now, watchback has to do, yes, the effect of the of assessment on teaching and learning is when you get the results and you have and you realize according to the results that in any given content most of the group has provided a wrong answer. In a provided learning outcome, most of the group has problems. And on this content, most of the group has scored very well. And then you take all that information and you pinpoint the areas, the contents, or the learning outcomes that need to be reinforced. And then you go through that and you prepare another class and you prepare some more face-to-face feedback, if you may, with some of the involved students. Or maybe at the end of a summative examination, maybe at the end of unit 1, you take the exam and you provide all the kids with their exams graded, and you go through each of the questions and explain the questions and explain the correct answers. That way, we are providing watchback. So that's that's the way how the results of your of assessment or examination can be used as teaching aids to guide your teaching practice and to help your students be aware or in what areas they need to reinforce and more specifically how can you help them overcome those gaps in their learning. That's the difference. I don't know if you have any questions or any doubts.
The word says it, wash back to reseal what you
Yeah,
saw and the students didn't understand. You see it one more time.
exactly. Yes. Okay. So this is what we should be doing. Watch back in our classes. So we should do it from now on. Um, Median, right? Efrain, can you help us?
In reality, letter grades and numerical scores give no information of intrinsic interest to the student. Instead, give praise for strengths and offer constructive criticism of weakness. Formative tests provide washback with information to the learner on progress towards goals. Teachers tend to offer no means of washback except grades and summative tests.
Thank you. Now we have more information regarding this watch back. Thank you, Efrain. Now we're going to go through the 5 questions that you were answering in activity 3. Um, Aaron, can you help? Can you help me, please? Is Aaron here?
He's not here.
Okay. Gabby, can you help us, please?
Yes, teacher. Applying principles to the evaluation. Are the test procedures practical? Administrative details, time frame, smooth administration, materials and equipment, cost, scoring system, reporting results.
Thank you. Thank you, Gabby. So those are the things that we have to take into consideration when asking ourselves the question, is the test, is the examination that I'm providing practical? Thank you, Gabby. Marisa, can you help us with number 2?
Is the test reliable? Clean the test sheet. Audible sound amplification. Equally visible video input. Lighting, temperature, objective scoring procedures.
Thank you, Marisa. Oh. Azarelli, can you continue, please?
Yes. Intrareader reli sorry. Intrareader reliability guidelines, consistent sets of criteria, uniform attention, double check consistency, the same standards tool, avoidance of facts. Does
Thank
the
you. Thank you, Azarelli. Yes. So those are really important aspects to take into consideration also, okay? Sareli, Jose Luis, can you help us with number 3?
Okay, number 3. Does the procedure demonstrate compatibility? 2 steps. Are classroom objectives identified and appropriately framed?
And
Is the
B?
number A. And number B, are lesson objectives represented in the form of text specification?
Thank you. Thank you, Jose
Number 4.
Luis. Thank you.
Okay.
Georgina, can you help us with number 4, please?
Is the procedure phase valid in the base for best, condition for face valid, A, directions are clear, B, the structure of the test is organized logically, and letter C, its difficulty level is appropriately pitched.
Okay. Yeah, can you continue?
Letter D, the test has not surprises. E, timing is appropriate.
Thank you. Thank you, Georgina. Do you have any questions with any word that you may not know? If you do, please tell me, okay? So far, so good? Okay, thank you. Rene, can you help us with number 5?
Yes, number 5. Are the test tasks as authentic as possible? A, as natural as possible. B, as contextualized as possible. C, interesting, enjoyable, and humorous. D, thematic organization. E, real-world tasks.
Thank you. Thank you, Rene. Um, Lluvia, can you help us with number 6?
Entendido. Yes. Does the test offer beneficial watchback to the learner? Content, validity, preparation, time before the test, reviewing after the test, self-assessment, and peer discussion of the test results.
Thank you. Thank you. This question wasn't included in your assignment for activity 3, but I consider it very important. Okay, because it's related
Let
with
it,
watchback.
yes.
Okay, Liliana, can you help us, please?
Yes. Assessment requires students to perform tasks that were included in previous lesson and represent the objectives of the unit on which the assessment is based. A student will judge a test to be valid if directions are clear, the structure of the test is organized logically, its difficulty level is appropriately pitched. The test has no surprises. Um, Timing is appropriate.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
okay.
Josue, can you continue, please?
Yes. Best for best, a term that goes a little beyond how the student views the test to a degree of the strategic involvement of the part of a student, a teacher in preparing for, setting up, and following up on the test. The design of an effective test should point the way to beneficial watchback. A test that achieves content validity demonstrates relevance to the curriculum in question and sets the stage for watchback.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, guys.
Quick.
Now to wrap it up, I would like you to think about a conclusion that you will draw from this lesson and from this unit. I'm going to give you 1 or 2 minutes so you can think of what are the most important aspects of this unit that you can include in your teaching practice or that you found interesting and important. Okay, so please take a moment to think about them so you can share them with us. When you're ready, just say, I want to share, and we'll continue.
Me, teacher.
Okay, who was talking? Sorry.
Me, Miriam.
Okay.
Well, I have realized how important it is that we have well-designed tests because, like we said at the beginning, when our students hear the word test, and even ourselves, well, they become anxious and sometimes they are even blocked to even begin the test. But if we have a well-designed test, we can help our students feel confident about it. And most importantly, if they see that the test questions are things are that they haven't seen through the unit, because once they get to a question that they realize that they haven't even seen that in the unit, well, that totally blocks them out of the test. So it is important that I always have a well-designed test, one that will motivate my students to feel confident about, and one that will help me measure their
Their what? Sorry.
abilities
Oh, their abilities.
by
Okay.
being through the unit.
Thank.
I would like to be next, teacher. Okay, well, I believe evaluation is important, but evaluation goes to hand with feedback. So I believe no learner to
Jose
understand
Luis.
to make more.
Jose Luis. We
Right.
cannot hear
Can you help
you.
me?
We cannot. Can you
And
start again, please?
hear me?
Again, please.
Sure, Jose.
Screen is
I think